Hey YouTube, how's it going? I just got back from the range. I finally had a chance to shoot this upgraded Remington 700 SPS Tactical. Um, if you've been watching my videos recently, you know that I've upgraded the stock and I put a new bolt knob on there. I got a detachable magazine system. The bolt knob and the detachable magazine, um, they're not really going to affect the accuracy all that much. They're more for function and convenience. But that stock is definitely something that I bought in hopes of improving the accuracy versus the old plastic stock that came on the rifle. So without further ado, let me go ahead and get into the results for you. Okay, on this target, this is all, I believe these were all my hand loads. Everything on this page was shot with 42 grains of Varget powder, and they were all shot with these Hornady AMAX 168 grain bullets. A fine bullet, I really like them. My gun seems to like them a lot. These do quite well at 100 yards out of this short 20-inch barrel. Well, anyways, I got off to a pretty good start, but I was a little disheartened, honestly, after the first half hour or so that I was at the range, because although I was getting some pretty good results, as you can see here, it was good but not great. Maybe just a hair more accurate than the rifle was before I upgraded the stock. So at this point, I was happy, but I was thinking, damn, did I just spend all that money for nothing? Did I do all this upgrading and it's not really that much better than it was before? That's the feeling that I was getting. I was getting 1 inch, just over 1 inch groups, not quite MOA. Most of these groups are about 1.5 inches. Of course, there's some flyers there. This one was pretty good, but it was just like the previous stock in that I would get good accuracy, but it wasn't really that repeatable. And it wasn't that fine pinpoint accuracy that I was hoping I was going to get. So this was the first kind of batch of targets that I shot. The same charge, 42 grains of Varget powder with the Hornady 168 grain bullets. So I was happy, but a little disappointed as well. Here's another group at 100 yards, 42 grains of Varget, these 168 grain Hornadys, the AMAX, really good bullet. Again, decent accuracy, but not really anything different than I was getting before. I did, however, start using these match grade primers, the CCI bench rest large rifle primers, and they do seem to make a little bit of a difference. Definitely a premium component that's worth using if you're going for that fine pinpoint accuracy. Here's yet another grouping with that same load using a regular CCI large rifle primer. Good, but at this point I was starting to get pretty frustrated because I didn't think that anything was different than before. There's another one with the bench rest primer. That's, I would say that's about 1.25 inch grouping, just over MOA. So again, good, but nothing to write home about, and kind of disappointing as I was going through the process. I even took along some Federal gold medal match with a 168 grain Match Kings, generally regarded as one of the better match grade factory loads. It shot well out of the rifle before. It shot quite well with the old stock, not quite as well today. And I was thinking, okay, I know that this is good ammo. Maybe I just have to let this stock break in a little bit, and it's not really gonna give me very good results on this first day. So that's premium factory ammo from Federal. About 1 inch grouping, and then that flyer's probably my fault. If you count those 4, that's MOA, but it's exactly 1 inch, give or take. Again, nothing terrific. Now, one other thing that I wanted to try out today was this Lapua brass. About 3 or 4 months ago, Cabela's had a free shipping sale one weekend, and I was able to pick up 100 a 100 pack of Lapua 308 brass for $70 out the door. This brass is probably some of the best that money can buy. This and Norma, generally regarded as really the best of the best when it comes to brass. So I finally decided to break this out. I loaded 50 rounds. And one other thing that I did differently, if you guys remember from 2 or 3 videos ago, I said that it's time to step it up and really, start to not be so cautious with loading for this rifle. Especially given that it has a 20-inch barrel, it's going to lose a good amount of velocity compared to the standard 24, 25, 26-inch Remington 700s. So I was starting right around the suggested starting charges in the manuals, and I saw that I pretty much have got the basics down and kind of know what I'm doing. I'm no expert, of course, but it's time to step it up and start getting these bullets out of this 20-inch barrel a little bit faster than they've been going. I figured that I needed to do that in order to get some more accuracy out of this rifle, and it turns out that it worked. So as you can see here from my recipe, instead of the 42 grains of Varget that I'd been using, being very cautious, I added 1.5 grains, stepped it up to 43.5 grains. I did use those Lapua cases, the same CCI bench rest primer, and those nice Hornady bullets, the 168s, and that's 3 bullets in the same hole basically. I don't think I could get it any better than that. These two, most likely those are my fault. Somebody with better shooting skills, a steadier hand, I think they would have no problem getting all 5 bullets into at least a .308 inch hole. So I was really very happy when I started to see this, because I'd started to kind of pack it in, give up for the day. I thought that the rifle was not really that much better, and I just spent $600 for nothing. And then when I saw this, you could say my mood improved dramatically. And just to make sure it wasn't a fluke, here is another 5-shot grouping at 100 yards. Lapua brass. It's unfired. It's virgin Lapua brass, never been fired. And it's the same recipe, 43.5 grains, 168 AMAX. And again, I got 3 almost in the same hole. That's about 1/3 of an inch right there, those 3 shots. Probably those 2 are probably my fault. So yeah, very, very happy at this point, especially after the kind of groupings that I was getting earlier. Let me see here. Now I did kind of change it up from the Hornady 168s. Here's a grouping with the same charge, 43.5 grains of Varget, with the Sierra 175 grain Match King. It didn't do quite as well. As I mentioned earlier, with this rifle, probably because of the length of its barrel, 175s don't do all that great at 100 yards. After 200 yards and for hitting long range targets, the aerodynamic advantage they have over 168s takes over, and they do quite well. But at 100 yards, if you're just going to shoot at that distance, you're better off with 168 grainers. Alright guys, just to get this wrapped up, I know this is kind of boring, it's getting kind of long. One more group here with those Lapua cases. The group itself kind of messed up. I have that one, well, it's almost in the center of the bullseye, but compared to the other 4 bullets, it's a flyer. It's 1.17 inches total, just over MOA. But if you throw out that flyer, that's 4 bullets and a 0.6 inch grouping, which for me is quite good with my experience. And then probably the best overall group, not just picking and choosing, but my best overall group was right here, 44 grains. That is the recommended maximum load in the Hornady manual. So I got up there, the case looked fine, primer looked fine, no obvious signs of overpressure. But even with that little flyer on the bottom, 0.7 inches total, and I was able to get a 3 3/8 of an inch grouping with those other 4 bullets right there. And I am quite happy with that. Like I said, with somebody who's a little bit better shot than me will do better with this rifle. Also, it was a very hot day today. There's a heat wave here in California, and ideally you want to let the gun kind of cool off for a few minutes in between shooting groups, but it was really hot and I just wanted to finish up. I didn't want to just sit there in the heat, so I just kind of shot groups right after another. If you let the barrel cool off a little bit, I'm sure it would tighten up the accuracy even more. So in conclusion, I'm pretty happy with the upgrades, the new stock especially, and what I've learned so far is that making the bullets go out a little bit faster with my hand loads has helped a lot, and also using some premium components like these Lapua cases and these Hornady bullets, even though it's a little bit more expensive, it makes a big difference in the accuracy. With just standard PMC and old Winchester cases, the best I could get was occasionally a 1-inch grouping. With these Lapua cases and good primers and good bullets, as you can see, I was able to get it down to about 3/8 of an inch, give or take. So that's pretty much it. Now I know there's more to shooting than just 100-yard groups, so I'll leave you guys with some footage of my first, not my first attempt, but the first time I was able to get 600 yards on film. So I'm going to leave you with that, a little bit of range footage. What you're going to see is hand loads with the 175 Sierra Match Kings going out to 600 yards. Well, I hope you enjoyed this update on my Remington 700. That's pretty much it. All that's left now is I'm going to take the once fired Lapua brass. It's now been fire formed to the chamber of my rifle, and hopefully when I just neck size them only, I'll get a little bit, maybe I can coax out another 1/10 of an inch in the size of the grouping. So here you go, guys. Here's some 600-yard groups, not groups, but 600-yard just plinking, and thanks for watching.
A lot of ranges in there. A lot of indoor ones. Indoor is fine for handgun, but you only properly shoot a rifle outdoors.
That's a hit. Go for the round target.
Funny with the air protection on it, reminds me of Joshua Tree at night.
Not sure if I can fit it.
Got that quiet ringing sound. It's so quiet.
Back to the square target.